Welcome to the deep dive. In today's world, it feels like learning English is, well, it's everywhere, super accessible.
It really is.
But there's so much noise, right? How do you actually find the good stuff? And that's where something like YouTube comes in. It's become a real powerhouse.
Absolutely. A game changer. And it's not just for people actively, studying the language. It's fascinating for anyone curious about communication, how we connect.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into the top YouTube channels for learning English, focusing on what's current in 2024.
Right. And the sources you've given us, they show this incredible range. I mean, everything from tricky grammar points to cultural insights. And it's all adapted for different levels, different ways people learn.
Yeah, our goal here is really to give you a shortcut, help you get properly well informed about the best YouTube stuff for picking up English, whether you're, getting ready for a meeting or maybe just curious about the field. We want to pull out the surprising bits, the practical tips, make it easy to digest, actionable.
We'll definitely try to boil it down to the key takeaways, balance the big picture with those memorable details, the examples that actually stick with you.
Right. No overwhelm, just useful knowledge you can hopefully start using straight away.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so let's dive in. One thing that jumped out from the sources is just the sheer scale of this. It mentioned even channels ranked 15th on a list still have over 1 million subscribers. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's huge. And what's really fascinating is how YouTube taps into these core principles of learning a language, things that maybe traditional classrooms don't always capture as well.
Like what?
Well, first off, this idea of immersive learning through genuinely authentic content. You're hearing native speakers, in real situations.
Right. Not actors reading a script necessarily.
Exactly. So you pick up natural speech, slang, colloquialisms, even those subtle cultural cues, things you just can't get from a textbook alone.
It's like getting that real-world vibe without leaving your couch. And beyond immersion, the sources also talk about how the variety of topics helps expand your vocabulary. That seems key.
Oh, absolutely. Because whatever you're into, tech, fashion, news, cooking, whatever, there's probably a channel for it in English.
So you're learning terms relevant to your interests. Keeps you motivated, right?
Yeah.
And you avoid that feeling of just memorizing random word lists.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Which leads to the third big advantage.
Yeah.
Regular practice, because these channels upload so consistently.
Yeah, some are weekly, even daily.
Right. And that constant stream encourages you to make it a habit. Just watching a short video, doing a quick exercise.
Yeah.
It builds up. It fits learning into your routine rather than being this separate, daunting task.
Okay, so that's the why. YouTube works because of immersion, relevant topics, and consistent practice. Makes sense. So where should someone actually start? The sources point to a few really popular kind of all-around channels. Let's talk about English with Lucy. Huge following. Over 10 million subs. What's her magic?
Well, Lucy's really good at breaking down pronunciation, particularly British English phonetics, which can be tricky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she uses clear visuals, focuses on practical, everyday English. The sources mention she has this knack for explaining subtle sound differences, vowels and things that really help learners sound more natural and, crucially, be understood.
That pronunciation focus sounds super helpful. Okay, then there's Linguamarina. Marina Magilko. She seems to go beyond just the language itself.
She does. It's more holistic. Marina tackles the how of learning, strategies for staying motivated, setting up study plans, being productive.
Ah, the meta-learning aspect.
Exactly. And she connects English skills directly to career goals, showing how fluency can open doors professionally. That's a big motivator for a lot of people.
Definitely. Another major player mentioned is Learn English with EnglishClass101.com. Millions of subscribers there too. Their strength seems to be variety, structure.
Both, really. They have a massive library of video lessons. They use subtitled stories, which is great for comprehension, and they do compilations on specific themes, like travel phrases or staying motivated.
Kind of like a structured course, but flexible and free.
Pretty much, yeah. They aim to simplify things, lots of examples, very focused on building conversational skills.
Got it. And we can't forget Minglish. The sources say they're really focused on building confidence, which is huge for speaking.
Absolutely huge. Their whole approach, with hundreds of videos, seems geared towards getting you comfortable using the language, encouraging you to experiment, have fun with it, not worry so much about mistakes.
Which is often the biggest hurdle, right? Just getting over that fear.
Precisely. It's about moving from just knowing the rules to actually communicating confidently.
Okay, so those are some of the big general channels. But, the beauty of YouTube is you can get really specific. What if you need British English, not just general English, or maybe American?
Right, the niche factor. This is where it gets really interesting.
For British English, the standout seems to be BBC Learning English. Official source, millions of subs. What makes them so good?
Well, it's the BBC, so you get that quality, that journalistic rigor. They use real news, authentic UK materials. It's high-quality lessons on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, but also deep dives into British culture.
So it's immersive in that specific culture.
Exactly. You're learning the language within its natural context.
And for the American side, there's VOA Learning English. What's their angle?
VOA, Voice of America, they blend language learning with current events. But the key thing is they present it in clear and noticeably slower-paced American English.
Oh, okay. So good for listening practice.
Especially for that, yeah. You're improving comprehension, picking up vocabulary related to world news, all presented in a way that's easier for learners to follow.
Makes sense. Now, what about the professional world? Business English is a whole different ballgame sometimes.
Oh, definitely. And YouTube has channels dedicated just to that.
Like English with Ronnie. Sources say she focuses on practical workplace stuff.
Yeah, Ronnie zeroes in on things like job interviews, writing professional emails, phone calls, networking.
Real situations.
Exactly. And crucially, she covers the cultural side of business communication too, which can be, really important in international settings. Avoiding misunderstandings.
Good point. Then there's Business English Pod. They sound even more specialized.
They are. They use realistic business scenarios like negotiations, presentations with specific dialogues, and industry vocabulary. Very targeted. If you need language for a specific field, they're likely a great resource.
And Oxford Online English brings that academic rigor, right?
Yes, high-quality tutorials. They often feature mock interviews, simulated meetings, focusing on practical applications so you can use what you learn in those high-stakes business moments.
Okay, switching gears a bit, what if you just want to learn while watching TV or movies? Seems like a fun way to do it.
Totally. And there are channels built around exactly that. Learn English with TV series is a big one.
How does that work? Just watching clips?
Yeah, they take short excerpts from popular shows and break them down. Explain the idioms, the slang, the cultural references you might miss. It makes it really engaging.
And you get authentic, fast-paced conversation.
Right, in manageable bits. And English with movies does something similar, but with feature films.
What's the advantage there? Longer content?
Well, it lets them explore different accents and speaking styles across a whole movie. Good for tackling those tricky idiomatic phrases and really building your stamina for understanding longer stretches of natural speech.
Cool. Now, let's talk fluency and confidence again. It's such a common sticking point. Speak English with Vanessa comes up a lot.
Vanessa's great. She offers practical conversation tips, pronunciation help, but her real strength, according to the sources, is tackling the fear factor.
Yes. So?
She gives actionable strategies to overcome hesitation, encourages you to just speak, addresses those anxieties head on.
That sounds incredibly valuable. And English-speaking success apparently teaches you how to think in English. What does that even mean?
Yeah, it sounds a bit abstract, but it's about cutting out the middleman, your native language.
So not constantly translating in your head.
Exactly. Their exercises aim to build direct connections, so you react and formulate thoughts in English. It's about making the language more automatic, more natural, faster.
Wow, that's a deeper level. And James ESL English Lessons uses interactive stuff.
Yeah, James ESL is known for drills, role-playing exercises, even live streams where you can get direct feedback. That real-time practice is gold for refining pronunciation and just getting comfortable speaking.
Okay, what about someone literally just starting? Absolute beginners.
There are great options there too. Shaw English Online is mentioned for its structured approach.
How structured?
Like starting right from phonics, the basic sounds, and building up step by step. Grammar, vocabulary, all in a sequence. Very solid foundation building.
And English with Jennifer, also popular for beginners.
Yes, over 1 million subs. Her style is described as very friendly, approachable, basic grammar, everyday words, simple conversations, really focused on making those few steps feel less intimidating and building that initial confidence.
It's amazing the range, and then the sources threw in a real curveball. Kids TV 123, almost 5 million subscribers. For babies and toddlers, ABC songs.
Yeah, it just shows, doesn't it? The sheer breadth. From infant learners absorbing basic sounds and colors through songs, all the way up to professionals fine-tuning negotiation skills in English, YouTube really does cover the entire spectrum.
It paints this picture of language learning being like a lifelong thing anyone can tap into, not just something you do in school.
Exactly. It's democratized it in a way, made it accessible at every single stage.
So after exploring all these different channels and approaches, what's the takeaway for you, the listener? How do you actually use all this effectively?
Right. Putting it into practice. The sources had some good, clear advice. First, and maybe most importantly, pick channels that match your level and your interests.
Yeah, gotta stay motivated.
Definitely. Second, consistency is key. Watch regularly. Even short sessions add up. Make it a habit.
Okay, what else?
Use subtitles if you need them, especially at first. But then challenge yourself. Try listening without them as you improve.
Push yourself a bit.
Exactly. And finally, be active. Don't just passively watch. Repeat phrases out loud. Take notes. Do the exercises if the channel offers them. Engage with it.
Makes sense. And remember, some of those big channels like English Class 101 or BBC Learning English offer so much structured content, it's almost like getting a full course for free.
It really is an incredible resource.
So yeah, YouTube channels are clearly this indispensable tool now, a really diverse, rich environment for learning English, tailored to basically any need you can think of. Accents, business talk, kid songs.
It's all there.
It really is.
And as you start using these resources, weaving them into your routine, it's worth remembering.
Yeah.
Learning a language isn't just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's about opening doors, new cultures, new ways of thinking, new people, new opportunities. So maybe the question to leave you with is, what new world are you going to unlock by diving into one of these channels today?